Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Suited Shootist. And this one's going to be kind of a quicker video. It's one that I didn't anticipate filming, but I had a thought driving home from work the other day that I thought was relevant and that I wanted to share with everybody, especially kind of in the spirit of transparency, because one of the reasons that I started doing this when I put this stuff out is because I personally found myself kind of getting discouraged because there was a lot of information and a lot of content that was being put out by very high level performers that showed what the peak of performance looks like. And while that can be encouraging, it can also be a little bit discouraging for someone like me when I was like, well, I'm here, these guys are there, and I got so far to go. It can very easily give you a false impression that you suck worse than you do. And then on the other side of the spectrum, a lot of the other stuff was very basic entry level information that is great for people. Everybody should have it, but it's basic information. And so I didn't find a whole lot of middle ground there. A little bit of a rant, but that's why I put stuff like this out. And so in the spirit of that kind of transparency and shining a light on my progression and development through all of this, I had a thought that there's a chance that I could be completely full of shit. And let me explain how I kind of got there. So by the time this goes live, I will actually be at a short half day force on force training class in the area. And it kind of scares the hell out of me. And here's why. When I first took ECQC, I was going in with zero expectation because, yeah, I've seen the videos that we've all seen of what those evolutions look like, but I didn't know how I was going to perform. And so I was treating it the way Craig really kind of says it should be handled as an audit of your existing skill set. And so given that I had zero frame of reference previously, I had no benchmark to hold myself to. So that allowed me to have a bit of an out. If I just completely got demolished, I could shrug it off and say, well, okay, that's fine. I learned and I didn't know any better. So it would be unreasonable and unrealistic to hold myself to a higher standard because I just didn't know what I didn't know. Well, that was a few years ago. So at this point, I've got ECQC. I've got about a year of jujitsu. I'm a one stripe white belt at this point. And so ostensibly, I have a higher skill set, which means I should be able to do better. But I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. And so this circumstance is okay. Well, I got to show up and I got to walk the walk and I got to see, make sure that I'm not just a completely, all talk. And so I'm a little apprehensive. I mean, I know that I'm not going to be physically harmed in any kind of way, but it's definitely kind of one of those challenges of self-identity. It's like, okay, have I been wasting my time the past couple of years? Or have I kind of been hyping myself up and thinking that I'm hot shit based on all of the controlled one directional training that I've done between then and now? So we're going to find out exactly how bruised my ego gets here. And I'll come back next week and kind of do a debrief and a download of everything as well. But I wanted to just kind of share this because I know I'm not the only one that has had this thought. But I wanted to put it out there publicly because it's a good place to be. Don't ever get wrapped up in your own hype. Put yourself in circumstances where you're going to be challenged and put yourself in circumstances where you very well may fall flat because that's the only way to know if what you're doing is working or not. So we'll see what happens. I'm not, my goal for the class is if it's what I think it is, which is going to be kind of your standard one-on-one evolution type deals. My goal is to try and talk my way out of as much as possible, because I've been stressing the verbal agility piece a lot. I think that I talk reasonably well, especially off the cuff, and even when I'm having to focus on other tasks as well. So that's my personal goal for this class. Is I'm going to see how far I can take it verbally without things getting physical, and it's going to require me being kind of creative. So, like I said, we'll see what happens. I'm definitely nervous about it because um, it's going to challenge my idea of where I'm at, and it'll either confirm it or not. But again, I've said before, I like being wrong, so there's really no downside to it. No matter what, something good is going to come out of it. So let's see what happens. I'll be back next week to report and have some video as well. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue enjoying my Negroni. So since it is the end of Negroni week, I felt it appropriate. And I'd love to hear your feedback as well. What are those classes or what are those ego checks where you just kind of wind up getting yourself amped up about, okay, so this is the real deal. I'm going to find out exactly, if I'm as good as I think I am or not. I'd love to hear it down in the comments. So let me know what you think. We're having some great discussions over in the Facebook group, so I'm going to put the link to that down there as well. Please join us. We're having some great discussions. And for those of you that are already following on Facebook and Instagram, thank you so much. If you're not, please do so. And if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, I'd appreciate that as well. So we got a whole bunch of really cool stuff coming up here in the not too distant future. We got a couple more partners coming in as well. So stay tuned. We got a lot going on. And again, I appreciate all the feedback and all the support. So hope everybody stays safe and protect yourself, but don't protect your ego. Have a good one.